Do you ever watch a movie that ends and leaves you staring at the screen like, yeah, I totally get it, when you absolutely don't? The kind of film that makes you feel like you've just unlocked a new level of consciousness, when really you've just spent 2 hours watching a bloke in a hoodie talk about time. The type of film your pal who doesn't stop talking about film tells you, this film is so deep, bro, you have to watch it. You know, they stare into the camera, whisper something like, we live in a society, and vanish in a puff of symbolism. And somehow, we all clap and call it genius. Today, we're diving into that cinematic black hole. The movies that look smart, sound smart, and somehow convince you that confusion equals meaning. By the end of this video, you'll know how to tell the difference between a film that's actually profound and one that's just showing off its philosophy degree that it bought off of Facebook Marketplace. I'm Sol, the host of the Solar Vision radio show on Fridays 7 till 8, which usually consists of student drinking games and a bit of film talk, but this is my channel where I do deep dives into films and media topics that I fancy yapping about. So if you like the sound of my voice, you know where to find me every week. But for now, grab your metaphorical notebook, because by the end, you'll be able to outsmart movies that think that they've outsmarted you. Let's start simple. How do these films trick us? Why do we walk out acting like we've just solved time travel when we actually spent half the runtime wondering what the main character's name is? It's not magic, it's a formula. A dumb, but very, very effective formula. The fake deep formula. It's how filmmakers make you feel like you're watching something profound when you're really just watching a guy spin a top for 2 hours.
And perceive our world simultaneously, and our mind does this so well that we don't even know what's happening.
Yes, I'm still talking about Inception. Now, a quick disclaimer before we dive in, I don't actually hate any of these movies. I love them. Most of these films are incredible films. I'm just being a little cynical and analysing how some deep moments are, let's say, a little bit forced. It's all in good fun. Christopher Nolan is actually my favourite director, so please don't hate me if you disagree with what I'm saying. Anyway, back on topic.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
The fake deep formula. There are 4 ingredients, and once you know them, you'll start seeing them everywhere. Step 1. Say something that sounds philosophical, but isn't. All you need, really, is one sentence that sounds like it belongs in a uni philosophy essay. Something like, reality is just a dream we haven't woken up from.
She said that every living creature on Earth dies alone.
Boom. Instant IQ points. The more meaningless it is, the deeper it sounds. The secret is words like existence, time, or the void. If your line could be doable on an Instagram caption on a cloudy day, congratulations, you've nailed it. Step 2. Symbolism. Lots of it. Masks, mirrors, clocks, butterflies. Basically anything that would show up in a Year 10 English paper. He's not just dancing, he's dancing against society. And the soap, yeah, that's capitalism or something. No one actually knows, but if you say it confidently enough on Reddit, it becomes true. Step 3. Add a soundtrack that feels like God's having an existential crisis. You could film someone making toast, but if you add that sound, suddenly it's a metaphor for existence itself.
You know why they put oxygen masks on planes? So you can breathe. Oxygen gets you high.
People eat this stuff up. If the music's dramatic enough, it's automatically deep. Step 4. End confusingly. If your audience leaves saying, wait, what has just happened? Congratulations, you have made art. Because if no one understands it, everyone pretends they do. It's genius, really. You create the illusion of intelligence by giving the audience nothing, and letting their brains fill in the gaps. And that brings us to the next part, why we love it. Because we're not just being tricked, we're complicit. When a story doesn't make sense, your brain tries to make sense of it anyway. You're wired to find patterns, to fill in the blanks. We want meaning. So when Nolan throws temporal inversion at you, your brain goes, ah, yes, of course, that makes perfect sense. Even if it doesn't. And that's the genius bit. It's not just the movie, it's us. We want to believe it's smart because our ego wants that little reward. It's like going to the gym for your brain. The film doesn't have to teach you anything, it just has to make you feel like you learned something. We walk out saying, wow, that was deep, while our brains are texting each other, mate, I have no idea what's just happened. Being confused has become a status symbol. If your friends don't get it, that means you're smarter than them. Congratulations, your confusion is now enlightenment. But once you know the formula, the buzzwords, the soundtrack, the symbolism, you start to see through it. Suddenly you're not being tricked, you're in on the joke. You can watch, enjoy the chaos and think, I see what you're doing, film. And that's when you've officially outsmarted the movie. The confusion works because we're human. We crave challenge. We want stories to feel like puzzles, even when the puzzle pieces don't fit together. And that's why dumb smart movies will always exist. They're not bad, just sneaky with how they trick your brain. And now, at least you know how the trick works.
Flying. Settle back and let this music calm you down.
Dog fancy, please.
We've spent a lot of time tearing films down, so let's talk about films that in my opinion really earn their depth. The Truman Show. On the surface, it's about a man trapped in a TV set. Underneath, it's about control, freedom, and the human need to break out of routine. It's clever, but it never demands you to pretend you understand abstract nonsense. The story carries the message naturally. And then there's one of my favourite movies, About Time. A time travel rom-com that uses its premise to explore love, loss and gratitude. No convoluted mechanics, no mystery box, just emotional honesty.
And what about the whole butterfly effect thing? What can I say? We don't seem to have messed up civilization yet. It's going to be a complicated year. It's going to be a complicated life.
A film that explores time travel yet stays simple and true to its roots. The profundity comes from feeling, not confusion. And that's the difference. Fake deep movies dress up confusion as intellect. Real ones, they let the meaning find you. Films like The Truman Show and About Time don't cheat. They trust you to understand without needing to decode a 4D timeline. You leave the cinema thinking about your life, not about how many timelines your brain can juggle. Fake deep wants you to feel clever. Actually deep wants you to feel. Once you see that, you start recognizing patterns everywhere. Which films are playing with your brain and which films are genuinely touching it. So what have we learned? Movies that try to be deep aren't always deep. Some are smoke and mirrors, some are just trying way too hard. And that's okay, they're still entertaining. But now, at least you know the tricks. Fake deep movies rely on 4 things. Philosophical buzzwords, over-the-top symbolism, soundtracks that sound like Judgment Day, and endings designed purely to confuse you. Once you recognise that, the illusion breaks. You can still enjoy them, but now you see them. That's where films like The Truman Show and About Time come in. They don't trick you, they earn your emotion. They leave you thinking about yourself, not the complex plot mechanics. So maybe the real takeaway is this: it's fine to be confused, it's fine to enjoy the chaos, but once you know the pattern, you've got a little cinematic superpower. You can enjoy the style and recognise when there's substance. You've officially outsmarted the smart moves. And honestly, I would say that's a cooler skill than quoting the Joker on Reddit. So next time someone says, bro, this movie's so deep, you've got to watch it, you'll know exactly what that means. Maybe you'll laugh, maybe you'll nod, but most importantly, you'll watch smarter. And that's the end of this deep dive into fake depth. I've been Sol, professional rambler, part-time philosopher. If you want to hear more of me, check out my other videos where I'm talking about other films that I felt like yapping about on that day. And if you want to hear even more of me, as I said earlier, I've got a radio show, Fridays 7 till 8. They're a lot more upbeat and there is a lot more drinking involved. But I hope to see you all next time. I hope you all enjoyed.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.